camera.
Well, as a new mom, one of my favorite sounds in the world is hearing my baby boy giggle and coo. I also listen to music every day, and I know I'm not alone in immersing myself in the daily sounds of life. So I can only imagine the frustration and isolation people with hearing loss can feel. Yet hearing loss does not have to be a way of life. So joining me today, we have Allison Mester, an audiologist and cochlear specialist, along with Marty Grody, a cochlear implant recipient. So thank you both for being with me.
Thank you, Robin.
Allison, our hearing health, I guess we can refer to it as, is something that many people really overlook until it's too late or it becomes a problem. So why is it so important for us to kind of always be aware of that?
As an audiologist, I can't stress how important it is to go see your local audiologist, get your hearing tested, and if there is hearing loss, talk about the options. And I want to stress that a lot of times people think, oh, it might be too late. You know, my hearing loss is already so bad. It's never too late.
So how many people are affected by hearing loss?
About 1 in 5 Americans have hearing loss, which is millions and millions of people.
Right, that's a big number.
Absolutely.
So what options do we have available? We're going to talk about one specific one today, but what can people do if they are experiencing hearing loss?
Yeah, a lot of patients do really well with hearing aids, and hearing aids is probably what people think of the most when they think of hearing loss. But sometimes hearing aids aren't enough. Sometimes the speech just doesn't sound clear, even through the best, most expensive hearing aids, and that's where a cochlear implant comes in.
And that is where, Marty, we will start with you. And you obviously have a cochlear implant, but when did you first notice that your hearing was going?
Okay, Robin, I was in my mid-30s and married and had started my family, and my husband told me I was having really strange conversations with people. So I had my hearing tested and discovered that I had a mild to moderate loss. And from that point on, I wore a hearing aid in each ear over the next several decades. But it wasn't until I lost all the hearing in my right ear in 2011. It was pretty drastic because I had not much hearing in the left ear. I needed a better solution. I knew that I couldn't use a hearing aid anymore in the right ear. So I learned I could qualified for a cochlear implant, and I went right for it.
Now, I understand, as you just said, the word qualified for a cochlear implant.
Yes.
So, Allison, somebody has to be able to really fit a mold to get a cochlear implant?
Absolutely. So a cochlear implant does have a surgical procedure involved. So there are FDA criteria that a patient needs to qualify for. If hearing aids are good enough and are going to help somebody and let them live the life that they want to, then there's no reason to go through surgery. But for so many patients, the hearing aids aren't enough. And even with the best hearing aids, it's still just not letting them live the life that they want. So that's when the audiologist would do a candidacy testing, so it's cochlear implant candidacy testing, to see if you qualify.
Okay, and you have a couple of samples here.
Yeah,
so and this is what a cochlear implant is, correct?
Yep, so these are the demos. And this is what the surgeon would show or the audiologist would show. This is actually the internal. So this is the part that actually Marty has implanted just under the skin. You can see it in that demo there. And this is the part that's receiving the sound. And then this tiny little piece down here is what is inserted into the cochlea to stimulate the cochlea electrically versus acoustically, how we normally hear.
It's amazing how it works. I mean, just the science behind it. And so what is the other piece?
This other piece, and if Marty turns her head there, that's the external portion. So the internal and the external communicate through these coils, through a magnet. So if you picture skin being between these, that signal goes through the skin. There's nothing coming through the skin. That signal goes through the skin and stimulates the cochlea directly.
Okay, and Marty, how has it been since you've had this?
Oh, it was amazing. After the surgery, you usually wait 4 weeks, and then you are activated, and you get to wear the external. And the first day, I could hear my audiologist, and I could hear my husband's voice. But I went home, and some sounds were so loud that I actually thought I was hearing my heart beating. And instead, I discovered it was really a clock ticking in my kitchen that I had never heard. So it's amazing how quickly you pick up sound, but you still have to work at it because it is different from a hearing aid.
Okay, and was that, you have the learning curve, but now, I mean, is it incredible?
Yes,
the results you got?
It is, absolutely, and that's the reason why I'm involved in a group now that tries to help others too.
I was going to say, you have a way for kind of people to get more support. Can you tell me about that?
Right. Because Cochlear would send representatives from their corporate offices to clinics to speak with recipients about how they were doing, I learned that some areas of the country had chapters where recipients could help other recipients. And so two other people and I said, let's go for it. And we began the Columbus Cochlear chapter in the, I think it was the fall of 2013. And we're still going strong. We meet one evening, the second Wednesday of every month at Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling from 6:30 to 8:30, and we see on average about 30 to 40 people.
Wow, that's
session.
amazing.
Yeah.
An incredible spokesperson, obviously, for the success that you've had. So, Allison, if somebody out there is watching, how can they get in contact with you, maybe have a consultation to start with?
Absolutely. So they can check with their audiologist, go to their audiologist and talk and see if they do cochlear implants. They may, depending on the audiology office. A way to reach out to Cochlear directly is cochlear.com/CLB, and that's where they can get some more information about the more local activities going on.
All right, perfect. And then maybe they can hang out with Marty once a week,
Yes,
right? There you
yes,
go. All right,
yes.
well, thank you, ladies, for being here today.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Robin.